Hi there. I'm making this to suggest that you utilize useful amounts of optimism in life. Useful amounts of optimism. You don't want to be too optimistic. You don't want to have rosy-colored glasses on in life and make poor decisions because you're too optimistic about things when you probably shouldn't be, but you also don't want to be too pessimistic. You don't want to be too negative either. That can lead to things like self-fulfilling prophecies, where if one says, oh, this is going to go poorly, you're more likely to do things that will make whatever is going on go poorly. A self-fulfilling prophecy. So you don't want to be too optimistic. You also don't want to be too pessimistic. You want to utilize a balanced amount of optimism. And everybody needs to find their own sweet spot. But if people tend to say that you're very negative, maybe you should think about utilizing more optimism. If you feel very negative much of the time, you might be too pessimistic. Again, this is an individualized thing. This is a philosophical thing. And I think it's a useful thing to think about, optimism. And I think there's psychological research on optimism, and it generally seems to indicate it's a useful trait to have to a certain point. I'm guessing that's the results based off my distant memories of having read various psychological literature, but I can almost guarantee you optimism, at least to a certain point, is quite useful in life. When solving problems, optimism can enable one to persistently and doggedly work towards solving problems in life. Optimism can be useful. It is my general understanding, if my memory serves me, that roughly almost 1 million humans on Earth engage in suicide each year. Almost 1 million humans. That's like maybe 2,000 to 3,000 humans a day, roughly, who end their own life each year. Well, equaling roughly almost 1 million each year, but it's about 2,000 to 3,000 each day. And I don't advocate ending one's life. I hope we can reduce suicides to zero, where we can have 0 suicides on Earth each year, because Earth is such an awesome place to live, where people are able to successfully solve problems and feel they have reasons for living and a purpose for living. I think that would be great. I want to see that. I want to see that as soon as we can make it happen. Hopefully only using persuasion, reason, and kindness. With that said, of those 700 to 1 million humans each year that engage in suicide, I'm guessing a very high percentage of them, if they were to persistently try to solve problems, persistently try to create reasons for living, they likely could. And if you watch my other videos that I've made and published, I'm against using force and coercion to, stop individuals from ending their own life. I'm against psychiatric force and coercion and confinement. But again, I also hope we can get suicides on Earth each year to get down to 0, because Earth is such a good and awesome and wonderful and peaceful and prosperous, did I say abundant, and pleasant place to live. I hope we can make that happen. And again, I think if more of us utilized optimism, we have a better chance of making that happen. So, again, if you are already appropriately optimistic in life, this video is not for you, and please watch my other videos. But if you are either too optimistic, which is probably the minority, this video is a reminder, please don't be too optimistic. Don't have too rosy of a colored glasses on. But also, the majority who might be watching this are not optimistic enough, and I implore you to be more optimistic, and again, appropriately optimistic, to the point where it's useful, to the point where it's motivating and energizing, to be persistent in solving problems and creating a life that is worthwhile and pleasant and good. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm making this. And again, this is for informational and entertainment purposes only. So use any or all of the information in this video at your own risk. But I think to be appropriately optimistic is not a particularly risky thing. And again, where that will be for each human on Earth is probably individual to them in their own life situation. And I'm guessing maybe 10 to 50% of the population is appropriately optimistic. Probably somewhere between like 30 and 40% is appropriately optimistic. Maybe 10% is too optimistic, and 40 to 50% is not optimistic enough on average. And of course, day to day, one's level of optimism can fluctuate. So, again, this is every individual could have a different level of optimism on any given day. But I'm guesstimating, ballparking, that maybe on average what I just said is maybe the case. And this video is quite a bit longer than I originally anticipated. And I think I'm about ready to end it, to stop recording it. But again, I hope this has been helpful or entertaining or whatever. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch my other videos, visit my websites, and have a wonderful morning. And please have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night, whenever and wherever you may be.